A classic Vanquish service is very different to any of the other modern era Aston services. When we started this business, we had a design development familiarity and expertise on classic Vanquish, and we identified that we wanted to be known as the brand specialist in the entire UK for classic Vanquish. And I think if you look on Aston Martin Owners Club forums, other forums, I think we are that. Today, if you take a classic Vanquish to any franchise dealership, the lead technician will walk out and say something like, "Oh, Vanquish, I've not seen one of those since my training course." That isn't the type of person you want working on a Vanquish. Vanquish had a lot of issues on initial introduction into production, and you need someone working on your Vanquish that was familiar with the car at that level, and then evolving and living with the car for many years. And for one way or another, either in the design development arena or in the repair, service and evolution arena, we've known Vanquish since it came out in the year 2000. So we're 2020 now, so there's years worth of experience on Vanquish here, which I don't think is replicated anywhere else. So when a Vanquish comes in for service, unlike the modern era cars, there is no prescribed schedule for Vanquish. The inspection report is very thorough, and that is going to identify which consumables need replacing at service, but then it's also going to identify 3 categories of remedial works. One category is items that need repairing immediately because they're broken or going to cause problems if they're left to continue in the state that they're in. The next would be items that needed repair for next MOT, and the third item will be long-term back burner jobs that are non-essential. Maybe it's cosmetic or a bit of paint, bit of trim, something that is not going to fail in an MOT and not going to cause a problem if it was left. So those are the 3 categories that we would identify issues within. So we would do the inspection report and then issue a report to the customer identifying each of those areas. And from that, we'd formulate the plan for that car. After that, maybe some work has been done and we see the car for a second time or 3rd year or 4th year. Then because we've got a handle on that car, we've prepared it to our standard, faults have been eradicated, then Vanquish service can be more prescribed because we know what the mileage has been, we know what its previous service history is and health status, so we can classify the service on those later years in a more controlled way. There's a lot of difficult setup on Vanquish that needs to be done correctly. Gearbox is one thing. The gearbox is an area that causes most owners problems, but if the system is evolved and set up properly, then it can be very fault-free and reliable. Vanquish is getting to the point in its lifetime now where it's not approaching a restoration, but it is needing some TLC, like front and rear subframes. These are tubular steel and removal, zinc plate, powder coat, remove any corrosion and welding, repairs that are needed prior to the powder coating, repaint of a lot of steel, brackets, suspension components, just to make the underside of the car look good. So as I say, it's not a full-on restoration, but proper care of Vanquish is now encompassing those sorts of light restoration tasks. Vanquish is a core skill at Bamford Rose, and we're very proud of that, and we'd like to continue that. So if you've never brought your Vanquish to us before, then I really do think that you could not entrust your Vanquish in anywhere better than Bamford Rose.